Hey everyone, welcome back. In the previous video, we have talked about what are all the important files while deploying using Apache Ant. And here in this video, we are going to talk about how we can deploy and retype the data using Apache Ant. And in the same video, we are going to talk about how we can deploy to unrelated Salesforce org using Apache Ant. So that was one of the limitation while using the chain set. We were only able to deploy to the related org which are related with each other, and we must need to activate that setting under the deployment setting. Using the Apache Ant, there is no limitation. We can deploy to any Salesforce environment, and we are also going to see that in this video. So let's quickly see how we can do that one by one. So this is our package.xml file which we prepared into the previous lecture. This is okay. We don't need to make any changes. This is the properties file. In the properties file, I have added one thing which is SFDC username 1 and password 1. This is the username and password for my one of the developer environment which I'm using for the practice purpose. So I'm going to deploy to this environment as well as I'm going to deploy to the production environment, and these are the credentials for the production environment, username and password. And I haven't made any changes, anything else over here. So now what we need to do is we just need to do basically we just need to see how we can deploy that, how we can retype the data, how we can deploy the data. So this is the build.xml file. The first target that we have got is retrieve unpackaged. Okay, now I'm going to change the target name to retrieve so that we can see how this is working. The usernames are dev username for the dev sandboxes where we wanted to have inside the fetched data, which is our folder. I'm going to show you here. There is already the folder called fetched data. Let's quickly go ahead and delete this. I'm going to permanently delete this folder, and once we will execute the command, it is going to run your command. So what you need to do is just go to the URL, go to the folder and open the command prompt. For the window users, what you all need to do is not window user, for the Mac user, what you need to do is go to your folder and then try to open the terminal there. And if you are not able to open that, then what you need to do is just go to like cd desktop like that, and then reach to your folder, open the command prompt, and what you need to do is you just need to execute ant. And what is the name that we have copied, whatever the name that we have given for the target, so it is retrieve. Now this one is retrieve. Basically what we wanted to do is we wanted to retrieve the data from our developer sandbox. Just hit enter. What it will do is it will find where is the build file, build.xml file. You can see here is the build.xml file. Then it did run the make directory where it has created a directory, a folder called fetched data. Now it has started retrieving, or you can see that retrieve has been successfully within 16 seconds. Now if you get back to your folder, you will see there is one folder called fetched data. We have got classes, whatever the classes we have, then we have got objects, then we have got pages, we have got multiple pages, okay, then we have got triggers, and then we have got package.xml file. And this package.xml file is containing all the components which we are required, like whatever the components we have given as a part of this package.xml. So basically that is the replica of this package.xml file. We don't need this apex pages to deploy. There is a reason I'm going to show you why we don't need, but for now that is okay. Next thing what we need to do is we need to deploy. Okay, where we wanted to deploy, we wanted to deploy to production environment. So we will quickly scroll down here and we will find out there is a target for deploying. Here it is saying that deploy unpackaged. I'm going to change it to deploy. From where I need to fetch the data, the folder is fetched data, okay, and the password or username. So if you go to build out properties, you can see username and password. These are productions username and password. What you need to do is just um, go to your command prompt, type ant, and then the target name, hit enter. Now you can see again it is finding the build file. Where is the build file? Now what target is it is going to run? It is the deploy target, okay. Now it will try to deploy the changes to your production environment. Even like we have already done the deployment using the chain set, all the changes are already there. There is one thing that the new, we can say that experiment we are going to do immediately after this deployment, and we will see how it is going to work. Now you can see the deployment has been succeeded. If we wanted to verify, we can quickly go to our org and we can go to deployment setting or deployment status basically. And here under the deployment status, we will see that this is like for 16th of April, we have got 22 like 2:25 a.m. the deployment has been succeeded. Okay, and this is the ID because now we are not preparing any change set. We are deploying through the metadata API. It is definitely going to get the deploy ID. That's why we are getting the IDs for these two deployments. Okay, one deployment was made by me earlier, 10 minutes before this demo. That is one thing here. Now let's quickly create a new object. I will say that student, and this is my sandbox. You can see dev sandbox is the one here. Again, I'm the inside dev sandbox. Now we will get back to our package.xml file. Include one more member for students. Okay, for a student object. This time we have removed the VA pages. The reason is whenever we are trying to deploy the changes to other unrelated developer org, we don't want to get into the errors. That's why we have removed this VA pages, and because there were too many VA pages. Now what we will go, not go basically, what we will do is we will delete this which is face data, and we will again execute the command which is ant retrieve. Okay, we are retrieving the command. We have already seen how it is deploying. Now let's quickly talk about if we only wanted to check if the code are working or not. Basically the check only. You have seen there were two options. One is for validating and there was one option for deploying. So if we only wanted to validate, how we can do that? Okay, so for that what we need to do is we just need to go to our build.xml file. Into the deploy target, there is one variable which we can have here is which is check only, and you can provide as a true. Now what it is going to do is it is only going to validate, it is not going to deploy. So let's quickly see here. Now we have saved this. We are going to run the same command which is ant and deploy with the new component which is student as a new object which is not there inside our production environment because we have created that inside our sandbox. So in the meantime it is deploying. Let's quickly see if that object is there under the objects folder. So you can see student object file is there. Okay, if you wanted to see what all it has, you can just go here, edit with notepad, and you will see what are all the components it needed to create an object. It already had it with it. Now you say here deployment submitted successfully, status is pending. You wanted to check this into Salesforce org while this is happening. Again, get back to your production environment into the deployment status. So we'll just go to deployment status, and you can see this is the deployment status. It is in pending deployment. This is the ID. Okay, if you wanted to refresh this, there is no way to check the detail page of this deployment, but it is in pending deployments and we are still. Now the process is it is validating, right? You can see it is just validating. So let's get back to our into. You can see here we are inside our command prompt and we can see that it is still validating. Now you can see here it is saying that validate succeeded. So if you go to our command, it is still saying us in progress, but in our Salesforce it is saying validate succeeded. Now here if we go to view details, we should be able to see that there were total 16 components and test cases not required, right? Now there is one more criteria where you wanted to saying that okay, now tell me if I wanted to run the test cases, how I can run test cases using the Apache Ant deployment. So there is another way for that. You have to specify one more variable which is test label in the same target. So go there, say that test label what you wanted to have. Now you wanted to run all the test or run local test. So basically we are going to run the local test. We don't want it to run all the test because if we run all the test, it is also going to include the package, include the test classes which are coming among with the along with the managed package as well. So you can see here I'm just going to you can see it is going succeeded. There were some delay in the command prompt and we are not able to see. Now what we are going to do is we are again going to run the ant deploy command. This time it is going to do the check only, and it is also going to run the few test cases for us. Whatever all the test cases are there inside our production environment, it is going to run those as well. In the meantime, it is deploying here. You can see now it is working pretty fast. Previously, it took some time. If you go to your Salesforce environment, this is your production environment, and into the production environment, we just need to refresh. Basically, we need to go to deployment status page, not on the same page. So we'll go to the deployment status page, and here we will see that again it is saying validate succeeded, and as we have basically run the test cases, now it is saying quick deploy. So if you only wanted to validate and then you wanted your admin to go there and do the quick deploy, you can also use that option, and you can see only the two test cases has been executed. Okay, so that's how you can use, like you can deploy, you can run the check only, you can also run the test case. There are various options for that. You have got run specified test. If you are using this option, you must need to specify this parameter run test, where you will specify your classes. Okay, and you can also run test in org, all test in org, or you can say that no test run. So these are the options, and this link I'm definitely going to share with you. Now let's quickly talk about how we can deploy to the unrelated org. Okay, so I'm just going to clone here. I'll say that deploy one. Okay, and everything is same. Check only, run local test, and these username and password are going to be changed. So for username, it is going to be username one. Okay, and for password, it is going to be password one. Now we have got this. Okay, we have checked about this username one and password one. So before we do this, let's quickly do the quick deploy for this, and let's check if the student object has been deployed or not. Because again, we must wanted to make sure that the deployment has been happened successfully. You have already seen that it has been validated. It means deployment will be succeeded. But again, to be on the safer side, we must need to validate. So it is working fine. Let it be, and in the meantime, we'll run our deployment for the different org. This is my other org where I'm working, and if I go here into the deployment, to the deployment status, again this is a developer org. I'll just go to the deployment status, and here under the deployment status, you will notice that there is nothing is there inside this. Okay, there are something. This deployment has happened, and this deployment has been happened on the same day, which is 1460. It is saying 16th of April, and this has been happened using a CI/CD tool. And to be sure, those objects are not here. Whatever the objects we have, like invoice, student, and invoice line item, I will just go here and search for student, and you will see there is no student object. That means there is nothing inside this org. Now, as we have seen that there is nothing, we are going to run this command, which is saying that ant deploy one. Okay, and this is going to deploy, and this is going to validate against the username which we have given, and here the username is username one that we have already seen. It is running. Let's quickly get back to our prod environment, refresh this page to see if the deployment has done, and if that is completed, it is still saying that pending deployment, the deployment process. It is taking time today. There might be some delay on the sales side. We don't need to worry about that. We'll just get back and wait for this here. You can see this has been succeeded. Even it has been succeeded the deploy one. We go here, object manager definitely will not get anything. Or we can go to the home page, and under the home page we can again switch back to deployment status, where you will see if the validation was succeeded or not. You can see here we got the quick deploy. We go to the quick deployment, click on OK, and we wanted to deploy the changes. Whatever the changes we had here, you can see now test classes run is not required, and the deployment has happened. Cool. We can see that unrelated deployment all also working, like which are not related with each other. The orgs are not related with each other basically, and we are able to see that the deployment has done. For this org, it should also be done for the production environment. But even if it is not working, basically we are done, and we will be able to see that object inside our Salesforce environment. And as we were able to successfully make the deployment over here, we are going to check wherever the objects are, whatever the object we have deployed. So this time you can see that this custom object is available over here. So that's it for this video. Thank you for your time, and we'll meet you into the next video where we are going to talk about some other deployment using Ant. Thank you.